Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Nice fucking model!
I'm here to fucking amuse you.
Go fuck yourself.
You're gonna fuck my slutty little mouth.
What the fuck?
Fuck you!
Fuckity fuck fuck.
Fuckity fuck fuck fuck!
Every great movie has an edge. This is MovieFwords, where we unpack all the language, the mayhem, and the moments that define swearing in cinema.
Welcome to MovieFwords, the show that studies cinema's finest profanity like it's a legitimate academic field. I'm your host, Paul, and with me today is Drew from the podcast Alas, the improvised works of William Shakespeare's. Today's subject, The Wolf of Wall Street, a movie that asks the bold question, what if crime but fun? A 3-hour masterclass in excess, ego, and F-bomb economics. We're unpacking the F-bombs, the meltdowns, the motivational speeches that should absolutely be illegal, and the fact that Scorsese somehow made financial fraud look like a theme park ride. So grab your lewds and let's get into it. So we briefly, in the Scorsese episode, we briefly touched on Wolf of Wall Street, but I wanted to get into this particular movie a little bit more because its swearing is recognized as much as the movie itself. So it delivers 3.6 fucks per minute of 173 minutes of screen time without the credit sequence. So that's one every 20 seconds in a 3-hour movie. Does that seem like a lot to you, or?
Yeah, that seems like a lot. Also, amazing job doing the math there. What an incredible statistic.
Yeah, I'd like to keep track of, how many times I supposedly hear the word fuck in a movie just over the course. It's 3 hours long, and it's not like a standard 90-minute movie. So you've got 3 hours of a fuck every 20 seconds, thereabouts. So it's a lot. I think, just like I said, it's part of the movie. When you hear Wolf of Wall Street, you think, oh, it's excess, sex, drugs, and investing, crime, and then you got swearing. It's just part of the movie. So if you were to remove about 90% of the profanity, do you think the movie would still work? I mean, does it feel fake or?
I think it would still work on a lot of other things. I think the profanity is so frequent and gratuitous, and I think purposefully inauthentic, that it adds this cartoonish ultra parody level to it. But even without that, it's still a really entertaining movie about financial fraud and this impossible, bigger than life guy.
So you think it's over the top as well? You see it as a bit too much in the movie?
Yeah, it's a really strong costume choice or something in a period piece, which I guess this kind of also was. It's oh, okay, everyone's wearing zoot suits because we're in the 20, and the costume department had a lot of fun with the zoot suits. We just it becomes background noise.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it glamorizes or condemns the world of Jordan Belfort and how that whole clan of his works?
I mean, to me, my interpretation is that it condemns the people. The profanity does. No one sounds cool when they're saying it, but you can tell that the other characters they're talking to feel like it's almost we're saying fuck, you can trust me because we're being informal together, which as the audience, removed from that world, makes it feel like a condemnation of the character's lack of authenticity and other meat to their personality.
So it's the people feel, I guess, I don't want to say closer, but more relaxed with each other because they're, not sir and madam kind of thing. So it's, fuck you and fuck this. And it's okay, I guess we're on a friendly level, I guess, now. So, everyone's comfortable with each other. So The only reason I ask that is because I don't know if you've seen it, the Killers of the Flower Moon.
No,
That's
that's another DiCaprio, right?
Yeah, that's 3 hours, and there's no swearing in that. Well, I shouldn't say no. There's three F words, but they're very spaced apart, and you don't even really hear them essentially. So it's like a complete opposite of what Wolf of Wall Street is. And it's the movie still works great. So that's why I always wonder, what if these high profile movies with the swearing, if they didn't have the swearing, would the movie still work? And I think it could, if properly worked out, but I think it could work, which goes against, the entire point of I got fuck behind me. So, it goes against the whole point of what I like doing, but I just like to compare and contrast the way these movies are and just see how they would work with or without the F word thrown in there every now and then. So do you think the movie comes across as maybe abusive to the audience sometimes with the way it's swearing? Like an assault on the
Yeah.
ears kind of thing?
It feels like a sensory overload. I think it actually, like, the scenes in the movie where they've paid like a production company to bring in like strippers and fireworks to the office, in the same way that feels overwhelming. I feel like the swearing feels overwhelming. It's just like a wall of profanity.
It is, yeah. Do you think, because these aren't good people at all, and morally speaking, they're not good people, but for some reason, they're set as I guess, the anti hero. We're supposed to think, oh, I want, Jordan to come through in the end on this. But in reality, it's like, if this wasn't a movie and I just saw him on the news or heard about him, I would think, no, he's a terrible person. I don't want good things to happen to him. So, do you think the movie helps glamorize him and make him more relatable to the audience, and goes with that, using the fuck and being more comfortable with each other and the characters? They think, if I speak this way with the audience, I'm more comfortable with the audience, and therefore I'm friendlier with the audience, and therefore maybe they would cheer me on even though they're not supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, from the profanity specifically, whether it's like, yeah, making him an anti-hero, I think it's a good, like, I went to film school. I'm one of those pretentious assholes. And they tell you especially freshman year, they tell you a lot, because 18-year-olds think they're edgy, that like just using the word fuck doesn't make something funny or good. But I think this was like breaking the 180. They just like went in chest high and did it so much that I think it does do that. Like, I'm sure if people seeing it in the movie theaters, I'm sure there are dude bros that just cracked up every time Jordan Belfort said fuck in a
Mhm.
really funny way.
Right. Yeah, it was. I spoke to somebody else one time, and they said they don't see DiCaprio as the actor. They see DiCaprio as just a person who's talking. So they don't see DiCaprio acting as Jordan Belfort. They see DiCaprio acting like Leonardo DiCaprio and all the swearing. So they think it doesn't really fit his personality. It doesn't seem like that was the way Leonardo DiCaprio talks. He's just acting like Jordan. I know he's acting, but it's tough to differentiate between who he's supposed to be and who we think he is. Like, we see DiCaprio as, Leonardo DiCaprio swearing.
Well, I wonder too if it's always hard to like pick apart intent, but like at the beginning of the chronological movie, not the movie we saw, but him at like 22,
Mm-hmm.
he's like a good kid. He's
Right.
married at 22. He's doing all the right things, and I wonder if maybe the inauthenticity of swearing kind of shows that despite how much he's a fish in water, this is kind of all a put on at some sense.
He does mention, hey, when I go into a trading floor or the office, people are swearing all the time. And it's like,
Yeah. I
shortly
remember that.
thereafter, then he's, doing it. It's like, you don't have to, but the work environment, I guess, pushed you into it. So I've never been anywhere near a trading floor or any investment kind of places. So I don't know if they actually talk that way, but it's
I mean, I work at one now, but it's not the heyday anymore. Like no one's on the trading floor. It's all done, as you might imagine, by like computer sets and people sitting in offices.
right.
It doesn't even like people say it matters, that you're 10 feet closer or whatever for the signal connection, but not in any way that matters.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of just, it's corporate, like the cocaine 90s era is over. All like the easily stolen, gambled money in a lot of ways is out of the system, unless you're like, even at BlackRock, I don't think people are going around fuck this, fuck that, maybe on the phone for the clients, but in the office, it's money whispers. It doesn't say fuck 3 times a minute.
Right. Yeah. It'd be a different scenario if it does.
Yeah.
So comparing to, I know these are totally different characters and people, but the Joker in The Dark Knight, who's, quote unquote psychotic, and he never swears ever. So do you think that he is more terrifying because he doesn't swear? And I'll bring it back to Wolf of Wall Street. So if there was a character in Wolf of Wall Street who didn't swear, do you think that they would be viewed as more, I don't want to say psychotic, but tougher? Like, oh, he's definitely got something going on behind those eyes. Why? Because he's not swearing, so he's just being real methodic with his words. Do you think there's anybody in there that would seem a little more terrifying because of that?
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that. I think it's a good comparison. I think maybe the auditor, the SEC guy, or maybe I forget if he's FBI or SEC. The main dark-haired guy.
Denham,
Yeah.
yeah. I think he's FBI.
Yes, yeah, right. Because they're not worried about the SEC; they are worried about the FBI. He does swear, like he definitely. There's a lot of moments where you see like, there but for the grace of God, he could have been one of those guys on the trading floor. But I think if the movie had gone in a different direction with him, yeah, he could have been like stoic, clean, no swears, and it would have added like, yeah, that kind of terror to him.
So you would have view him as like, oh, this FBI guy's real, no nonsense kind of guy.
Yeah, it makes me think of this is from years ago, but in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, in I think the last season, they've got Nathan Fillion playing this guy named Caleb, who's this like supernaturally strong preacher, but he's like very clean cut, doesn't swear, and seems very presentable until he like rips someone's arm off, and it does make him like terrifying.
Okay, yeah. So all right, yeah, I agree. I think if the person is swearing, they're in that friendly level, but if they're not swearing, that just means I'm not necessarily friends with you. I'm just here to use you for whatever I need, and you're not important to me because we're not on that level. So, like, my character, I guess, would be Jordan himself. If he didn't swear the entire movie, but everybody else around him was swearing the way they were, I would think, why is Jordan not swearing? What is he hiding? What is he pretending to do? What is he not pretending to do? Kind of thing. It would make him, to me, seem tougher.
Totally. Yeah. Fully agreed.
Because he uses it to project dominance. I think he uses the swearing over everybody else because they think, oh, he's my boss. He's swearing. he's tough. This is his environment. I should, do what he says, kind of thing. So, yeah, I thanks for all that. I appreciate it. How about we go into the lightning round?
Let's do it.
I will ask you just like maybe 10 questions or so. First name or scene or answer that comes to mind from the movie. Don't have to explain it, just what comes to mind. So, who drops the most unnecessary fuck?
I'm sure Jonas Hill character.
Okay. Who would be the worst person to sit next to at a company party?
Probably also Jonah Hill's character.
Who would you trust the least with your life savings?
Yeah, Jordan Belfort, the main character.
Jordan? Okay. Scene that would be 10 times worse without profanity. I know they all have profanity in them, so...
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it's almost impossible.
Mine would be any of the speeches he makes at work. Because I would think if he's not swearing at a speech at his own work, then I would think, all right, this doesn't really fit in with the theme of the rest of the movie,
Yeah, I guess when he first is the intern of the call connector at 22, I think that whole scene would have been much worse without the swearing.
Okay, yeah, I get you. What about Jordan's most you deserve jail time moment?
Oh, yeah, when he takes his kid from his wife at the end and crashes the car with her in the back seat.
Yeah, punches his wife in the stomach. I was like, this seems like this movie's getting a little real for me, And
yeah, that felt more gratuitous than the swearing.
yes, it did actually. That actually, I mean, unironically, and it hit more than the domestic violence hit more than the swearing itself. I guess because it's not something you're usually, depending on your background, it's not something you're usually accustomed to. So it's kind of tough to see those kinds of things portrayed, as opposed to swearing, where it's like, I grew up in public schools, so I'm used to it. It doesn't bother me anymore. So, what about, let's see, how about the best F-bomb delivery?
There's that one interstitial where he's talking about, and on the trading floor, it's fuck, cock, shit, this, fuck, cock, shit, that.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah.
Okay. How about the most morally bankrupt character?
Oh, you know what? His father, who goes along with everything, gets actually how bad it is and still just chooses to let it happen. He had nothing on the line. He had a wife, a family, good money already, and he still chooses to go along with this just for shits and giggles.
Because it's his son kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of pushing him out of it.
I didn't think I forgot he was in that because, yeah, he's to me he delivers one of the best F-bomb deliveries because when he's comes in with the bill, he's like $32,000 fucking dollars for 3 fucking steaks or whatever he says, and he's just like every other word is fuck out of his mouth because he's so pissed off. He's I like him, and he gets mad when somebody calls him, interrupts his show, and he's like, who the fuck has the gall to call me? And
then gets on as a British guy on the phone.
And totally mature and proper and everything like that. So if you could keep one character and get rid of the rest, who would you keep?
You know what? The first wife, who I think is the mom for my the name of the mother show. What's it called? I forget. How I Met Your Mother. I'm not sure if it is her or not.
I've actually never seen that show, so I don't know if that's her or not, but I know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah, the wife that isn't Margot Robbie.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, she's the most morally aligned character, and she helps Jordan, but in a positive way, I'd say, because she says, why don't you sell these things to rich people she's not trying to scam people, but she's just trying to help Jordan do better at his own job. And then he ditches her for Margot Robbie, and then everything kind of goes wonky from then on. So, what about who has the worst boss behavior?
What's his name? The actor in the beginning, the one who hits his chest and teaches him all that.
Really? You think he's the
Yeah,
worst boss behavior?
the
That's
in a way that,
surprising
like,
because I thought he was. Is it because he explains, take money from them, put it in our pockets, don't ever let them back out kind of thing?
it's that plus like the way he's crossing the boundaries and saying like being not just a mentor but like a life coach
Mhm.
and almost seductively is just wrong. Like it's inappropriate. The whole movie's inappropriate, but
Mhm.
like, oh, you're a cult leader.
Oh, surprising answer. I would have expected something like Jordan or Donnie's character. So who do you think would get banned from Wall Street within 24 hours?
Uh, um, yeah, almost all of them, but definitely Jordan Belfort. Yeah.
I would have went with Donnie because Donnie seems like he's in it specifically for. Well, they're both in it for money, but Donnie seems like he's willing to cut corners at any cost just to do anything. Whereas
Yes.
Jordan is like, let's make money, but try and keep hush hush about it. Whereas Donnie would just, let's just make this money and who gives a shit who hears us.
True. I would say that, I mean, just from an SEC perspective, what Jordan does throughout the movie, like specifically promising performance and discounting past returns, is the most like, oh yeah, that's a crime. That's financial crime. That's all they
Oh, it
did.
is? I don't know. I don't know if it is. Is that what it is? That how it is? Like you can't do that?
Yeah, you might have heard the phrase like past performance does not guarantee future returns
Yeah.
in like contracts and stuff. Yeah, specifically like promising a specific number of performance. Like, yeah, in 6 months, your 4% is gonna be 40%. That's the big
Oh,
X.
that's illegal to say that?
It is enough that it would like not just cancel the contract and incur in you'd have a bunch of fees,
Mhm.
but if you do it like too many times, they just take away your license to do business.
Oh, I didn't know that. Cool. I like learning stuff, so I didn't know that.
It's a weird
It makes
world.
makes him even worse because that's all he does is he says, don't judge me on my um, failures, judge me on my
Yeah.
successes or something. And he's saying in so many months your 10,000 is going to be 40,000. So yeah, okay, that makes his deliveries way worse. I didn't know that was illegal as far as making those kinds of promises. So thanks for that. So what?
Yeah.
How about one more? What? Who had the most creative use of profanity? Do you think?
Oh, it made it did make me giggle. I think it was Jordan saying it, but when they're tossing the little person, and he says $25,000 to the first cocksucker who gets a bullseye.
Mm-hmm.
Cocksucker can go really either way for me, but a surprising cocksucker gets a laugh out of me every time.
Okay, I was gonna. My answer would have been the dad again when he got up and started. Who the fuck has the gall? Because I didn't expect that from him. It's Rob Reiner. I didn't know he had that in him. So, but yeah, it's the cocksucker part does come up randomly. So I could see that being a highlight of a certain scene. So, but yeah, thanks for the lightning round answers.
Yeah, thank you.
So with that wraps up our Wolf of Wall Street 3-hour reminder that crime doesn't pay. Unless you're charismatic, rich, and have a yacht with a name that screams therapy wasn't an option. Thanks to Drew here from the podcast Alas, the improvised works of William Shakespeare. And thanks for listening to Movie F Words, where we celebrate cinema's finest profanity and pretend we're better people for it.
MovieFwords.com